most of you already know her. She is also part of our board. So quick introduction for her. So Sister Haqiqah began working for Red Cross in 1989 in La Verne in the Blood Services Call Center. And then following that, she was offered a train to be an HIV/AIDS preventative facilitator and taught classes at schools and probation camps. Following that, she and her family moved to northern Santa Barbara County in 1990. She then volunteered in disaster service and took classes to be a disaster volunteer, which responds to local disasters such as house fires and other emergency situations. Later, she was hired under a flood grant to work in the local office. Once the flood grant ended, she went back to being a volunteer and continued to take classes at 10 Red Cross conferences.
MashaAllah.
Yes. Very
Good. MashaAllah.
She was then hired again later on, this time as a disaster specialist for all of northern Santa Barbara County. She responds to national disasters like earthquakes, floods, tornadoes, wildfires, and more. She began doing disaster preparedness presentations as well as disaster and diversity classes. She was later then invited to train as a national instructor and general instructor, trainer in their 3 diversity programs. Sister Haqiqah has taught classes both out of state and throughout California. Additionally, Portland, Oregon Red Cross asked her to develop a diversity workshop. This workshop received the highest praise as being the best class the HR supervisor had ever taken. All in all, his career spanned over 21 years with the American Red Cross.
Wow.
Very, very impressive.
Very good.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum, greetings everybody. So good to have you all here today. This is such an important subject because we want to keep ourselves safe, our family safe, our community safe. So let's see what we can do to do our part in helping to keep everyone safe during a disaster. So everybody has a paper and pen, right? Or most of us? All righty. I have, a giveaway.
Okay.
So I know everyone is so excited. Do we want to know what the giveaway is?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
All right, because we want to know it's worth it,
Right.
right?
Right.
So the #1 disaster in California, or actually probably in the world, who has a guess to what that might be?
Fire.
Earth-
Fire.
Fires?
Earthquake. Earthquake.
Earthquakes?
Not in
What
California.
type of fires?
Wildfire.
Mhm.
Wildfires, okay. How about house fires?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's #1. So
Wow.
I have a tool that we all can use during, most house fires start at the stove, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I recently, let me see if I can turn this around. Well, you don't really need to read it. I
Okay.
bought a fire blanket.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Okay.
And how it works is you hang it in a cabinet or somewhere not too close to the stove, right?
Right.
And you pull on these tabs and this white fire resistant blanket comes out.
Uh-huh.
And you open it up and you put it on your fire that's on the stove or wherever.
I see.
Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
All right.
Interesting.
So I have an extra one for the person who can write down the most common disaster occurrences in California.
House fire.
house fires.
Okay, so go ahead and write it down and just keep going. We're going to take a whole minute, see
Most
how many
common.
you can write down, and then we're going to share what we have.
Okay.
Things,
What we have
disasters that
in the
happen in
house?
California.
In
Oh.
the house or outside or where?
In the
How is
house.
the outside of it?
Oh, in the stove. Right.
It's a fiberglass blanket.
Right.
Okay.
No, I mean, in the house, you want us to write the...
Oh, not just in the house, anywhere in California. What kind of
Okay.
disasters happen here in California?
Okay.
Haqiqah is not only just fire, it can be any disaster, right?
Any kind of disaster, you're writing them all down, whatever it could be.
Hmm.
And whoever is still standing at the end and has more on their list, they are the winner. If those are disasters that have occurred in California.
In California. Hmm.
And we get some unique disasters too, that don't occur too often.
Hmm.
Oh, you all are busy bees. I see those ink pens flying.
No, we're thinking. We're
Haqiqah,
thinking.
you so pretty, mashallah.
Thank you, alhamdulillah. I'm wearing my official Red Cross jacket today for my class.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank
It is.
you.
Very nice. Hmm.
Okay, you got about 20 more seconds.
Okay.
Okay. I think we got it.
Remember, you want more on your list than other people so that you are the last one and you can get the blanket.
Hmm.
Okay.
Competition. It's good competition. Water.
Hmm.
Okay, I can start.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
All right. We have our minute. So what we're going to do is each person will read one item on their list. And then if you have it on your list, you're going to cross it out because we
Right.
want only the new item each time. Okay.
All
Mhm.
right.
All right. So who's going to start?
Yeah, let's start.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Santa Ana wins.
I'm
What?
sorry. Oh, Santa Ana wins. Very good. Excellent. Next.
It's the same thing as gusty winds, right?
Okay. Yes.
How about sickness like COVID? That was a disaster. Would that be considered?
A
Sickness,
sickness like a cold.
COVID, and
Oh,
some
COVID. Yes. COVID is
Flu-
definitely
flu
a
comes.
disaster.
Oh.
Mhm.
How about tsunami?
Yes, we've had tsunamis on the coast. I'm not sure if they came all the way down to California. Have we?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay.
Well, we have signs out here in San Pedro that are tsunami evacuation route.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
How about jolts? No? Earthquake jolts once in a while.
Say that again.
Earthquake jolts, not the real earthquake, but you shake
Mm-hmm.
jolts.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I was saying what I have written the points. What can cause these disasters?
Natural disaster.
Hmm?
Is it natural disaster?
Not cause. What is a disaster? Not
Oh,
what.
I've written all the points which can cause disaster, like fire or anything else.
Okay, just one at a time though. So you're gonna say
Okay.
fire, Ismet?
Mhm.
Okay. I said
All right.
campfires. When you're in the open, campfires or
Mhm.
Oh, the causes. Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm just giving the causes.
Okay. Okay. Rehana? You're
Yes,
muted.
Yeah, no. Mute.
Landslides,
Yes,
Oh,
landslide,
landslide.
mudslide, yes.
landslides and mudslides.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
I was doing the,
Okay, anybody else have a different one?
There's one which,
Yes.
go ahead. There's one
oh,
which
I
has
was muted.
seen
Spill,
it happen. And
Anybody
one of my friends lost the life, his wife's life. It's a gas dryer fire.
Yes,
oh,
yes. So
Oh.
sorry.
If you don't clean the
Malawi.
filter, it can cause big fire.
Yes.
Can I say another one?
danger
Uh-huh.
spills.
Flooding.
Yes,
Flooding,
flooding.
flooding.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Any more?
anybody say earthquake?
Yes.
Not yet?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Right. That's quick. How about hazardous spills?
Yeah.
Yes.
no.
Hazardous spills, chemical spills, yes.
And fumes.
Fumes from it, yes.
Yeah. Volcanic eruption, volcanoes.
Yes,
If you are in that
but I
area,
think
you're in
that
that-
was
Not
a
yet.
little out of state.
I think.
Mhm.
Yes, a little bit north of us, we had that.
Right,
So,
right.
mhm. Mount Helena.
cyclones. We do have a nuclear plant in Southern California.
Yes, and Northern
Ghana.
California too.
And
Mhm.
You share that. Not,
tornadoes, cyclones.
We've had a few tornadoes touch down in California. We have. Does anybody know what to do if there was a chemical spill in your car?
No.
Oh.
leave the car.
Evacuate.
You would
Get out of
stay
the
in your car and you would turn off your vents and air conditioner
car. Right.
so that the air from the outside doesn't come inside your vehicle.
You're talking about a spill inside your car,
No, outside.
outside.
But you were inside the car.
So you keep your windows closed and your vents off.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Any other disasters? Anybody else have anything else on their list?
I do. I have one thing.
Okay.
Drowning. Drowning.
Uh-huh. Okay. From a flood or something like that, or what?
Well, I just meant like drowning at the beach. Some people drowning, or I don't know.
That would be individual. Electrical fires.
Yes. We
Mhm.
have had instances where we had high waves and whatnot, and people went out to look and they got swept away.
True. Yeah.
But
Okay.
I'm not sure that would be classified as a disaster where
Oh,
we
okay.
would be responding.
Mhm.
How about electrical fire?
Electrical fires, yes.
Electrical.
Mhm.
Short circuits.
Right.
Mhm. Mhm. And we need to be especially astute with electrical fires or electrical outages, power outages, because as seniors, a lot of us use electrical equipment. My husband has a CPAP machine, and others are using, equipment.
Electric blankets.
Electricity. So we really need to be astute at that. And in fact, we should be reporting to our local electrical companies that we have this equipment so that they are aware of where we are and what our needs are. It's not just those who are in a convalescent home or a hospital that might need a generator, right? So that we can continue using these
Who
equipment,
do you tell them?
life-saving equipment.
Who in your local area do you report that to?
Mine is Southern California Edison. So whoever your electrical company.
Also, you report that you're having these equipments to your electrical company.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
And you could even be eligible for discounts because of this equipment. And when you travel, it's not counted as a part of your luggage.
Yeah.
So you don't, you can still have it and not worry about it. Okay. Anybody
Yeah,
else
I have
any?
carried that.
I don't
I've carried my-
hear a clear winner yet. Who else has a disaster that we haven't named yet?
Oh,
In California.
Yes,
What
leak.
about winds? Winds.
Yeah.
Winds,
You know,
leak.
we've had
Yes.
pipeline bursting
Yes.
and like gas in Northern California, we have the potential of water pipelines bursting.
Yes.
We have dams. Now you're in my realm.
And we have had dams.
100-year floods and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The potential disasters.
We have had a flood overflow and give way in LA before, years ago.
Mhm.
So yes, that is a potential disaster. We do have dams all over California, actually.
We do.
So how about hail and rain and hailstorms?
Yeah, we got a lot of snow this year.
Yes.
And
Is
when it
hail also
melts, it
hailstorms?
causes floods.
Flooding.
Mhm. Yeah.
Unprecedented rain.
Mhm. Yes.
Rain,
Yeah.
rain gutters, right?
Mm-hmm. Anybody else have anything else? Because I need a winner to receive our fire blanket.
And we are all winners. Yes.
You know,
You need so many blankets.
one thing that's coming to my mind,
Yes.
whether you would classify it as a disaster or a social phenomena, is homelessness.
Uh-huh.
That's on the rise, and it's even on the rise for seniors. So, but it's not like a natural. I don't.
Not natural, yeah, right. Yeah.
It
Well,
came to my mind.
Sometimes food poisoning. Food
yes.
poisoning.
Yes. Sometimes at events, multiple individuals can get food poisoning. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. How about a train wreck?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Did anybody mention terrorist attack?
Oh no.
Oh.
Mhm.
We didn't.
Yeah.
I was thinking when you're talking about disasters, you're talking about natural disasters.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
I think we didn't think about things like that.
Yeah.
Well, we named chemical spills
True.
yeah.
True.
Yeah, but then we should talk about the gunfires happening all over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, will this be considered as a disaster? The polythene and the plastic bags that are all thrown into the sea, and the sea life is, affected by that. They swallow that and then they die.
Yeah. I think that's a
The
different
waste,
type of
the
disaster, but
plastic
yes.
waste, the plastic waste.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It is a disaster for our environment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Global warming.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What do you think
Slowly.
What do you think about riots?
Yes.
Would that be okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything that can cause other people harm, as well as do we need to shelter in place or do we need to evacuate? Those are the criteria I think that we should go by in terms of telling whether something is a disaster. When something occurs, let's say earthquake as an example, you might smell gas. What should you do?
Turn up the gas pipe.
Yes, you turn it off, and you should have a pipe near your gas main so that it's easy to turn off. And are we supposed to turn it back on later on?
No.
Gas company.
No, we're supposed to call the gas company and have them turn it off for us or turn it back on for us and make sure it's safe. I just, my son, youngest son came and he put a floor down in my laundry room. So we had to disconnect my dryer. And, you know, some of us are a little bit more handy than other people. So I really wanted the gas company to come out, you know, when we went to reconnect it, but I couldn't get them on the phone yet. So I bought a little gadget that determines whether or not you have a gas leak.
That's a good idea.
And it's very inexpensive. And so my husband went over to the pipe where the gas line is. And of course, it didn't beep or anything. And I said, well, you know, that's not really telling me if this thing is working. So he went to the stove and turned it on without having the, you know,
Igniting
the
it,
flame. And this gadget went crazy. It beeped all over the place. It turned red. Yeah, so I know it's working, and that's something that's inexpensive that we can have.
What's the name?
Buy from Home Depot?
Yes. Well, actually, I got it on Amazon because I'm not going out that much. So I would either go Home Depot, Lowe's, or Ace, or any of those places. They would probably have it as well. Or, you know, they used to say, let your fingers do the walking through the yellow pages. Well, I did that with Amazon, and I ordered it, and it came the next day.
So what do you call that? What do you call
It's
that?
called a combustible gas leak detector.
Okay.
Okay.
And we all have, I hope, a fire extinguisher in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Well, in addition to it being in the kitchen, we should have one in our vehicle.
Oh.
Very important to have. It doesn't cost a lot of money, you know, and anything, you know, we haven't talked about first aid kits, but anything we have in a first aid kit, we can add and add and add. We don't have to go out and buy a $200 first aid kit. We can get a generic first aid kit for $29, let's say, and then just add to it. You know, each payday or each month, we add a little more, add a little more, add a little more. What should we have in our emergency first aid kits? What are some of the things?
Band-Aids.
Band-Aids, okay.
A tweezer, gauze, sterilized gauze, a pair of gloves,
Cotton swabs.
Yes.
a pair of socks, and you have tongs. You need tongs also. Scissors,
gloves,
tape.
Gloves.
Gloves, yeah, right there.
Antiseptic wipes,
Yes.
emergency blanket.
Yes. Yes. I carry an extra blanket in my vehicle, and one time I passed by an accident on the freeway, and I was able to share my blanket. But you can get these little bitty blankets. You can especially get these in the camping gear. Camping gear is an excellent place to find things that you could use in your emergency kit. I have granola bars in my emergency kit, actually. Yeah.
I carry granola bar in my purse every time.
I can't go too long without eating, you know.
Water, maybe a little small torch.
How about masks?
Yes, masks are excellent. What else kind of things we can put in there?
Some kind of sound alarm.
An alarm?
Handheld sound alarm.
A whistle?
Whistle, right.
Yeah.
Flashlight.
Yes. Extra batteries. Portable radio with batteries. Yeah, all kind of things. I have a PDF document that we are going to be sharing with you that has a list of things that we might not even think about that could go in your first aid kit. We need a first aid kit for the house, but where else could we use a first aid kit?
Car.
Car.
Cars, we,
Your workplace, of course.
Yes.
in a
yes.
workplace where if you're doing something with the tools which can, which which are prone to where you can get yourself injured or something like that, like you are using sharp tools. Maybe in the garden, not in the
Yeah.
garden. You will always come in to do the.
Yeah.
You know, Haqiqah, anytime we have events at the masjid, we go to the park or anything, and there's a lot of kids out there, we always take a first aid kit to the park.
Yeah.
Zainab carries a first aid kit whenever we are on a picnic. She
Yeah,
always
that's
has
right.
it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You need a painkiller also, and maybe some water.
Yes.
You can change the
Water.
keep changing the water, but the painkiller.
Aspirin.
Has anybody heard of Ipticat?
Sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Ipticat?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
What's that?
That's what you use when someone has taken some type of poison or whatnot.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
makes you throw up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
EpiPen.
Ipicat.
Antidote.
Thank you.
Mhm.
How often do we say that, right? Another thing to be aware of, especially, since COVID or any type of disaster that has occurred, is psychological first aid. The seniors, as being seniors, and being in and not having contact with other people, we need to check on seniors. We need to double check that they are okay. And we need to look out for certain things to make sure that their mental health is all right. And there's actually a class that's called Psychological First Aid, and it teaches you how to look for certain things when people are not feeling well or they're feeling isolated. Yeah, there's a class that's given by each city. It's called CERT, Community Emergency Response Team. It's a free class. It's 20 hours. I did call around to some of the cities such as Fullerton, Orange. I actually took it here in Lake Elsinore. I took it in Lompoc before I moved here. And it's 20 hours. So you go, so many hours per day, but you get to meet some of your fellow neighbors and other people in your community, and you get to work together so that if there is a larger disaster, let's say earthquake or wildfire or something of that nature, that we will be able to help one another get through it. They teach you crimping, I believe it's called, where you hold up a building and you go in and you look for people. We should know where our seniors are in our own neighborhood. They might need help, right? And someone may not know to go and check there. And they teach you how to mark the door so that you say, okay, I checked this house and there isn't anyone there. They teach you first aid. They go over a number of things. And, maybe we could even have a certain
lessons we could do. Can you name the organization again?
At the base, right? We have enough people where maybe we could have them come in and do that for us.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, especially since it's a free service.
What's it called?
Your Fullerton, who did?
CERT, CERT.
So you said you checked with different cities. Does Fullerton do it?
They have done it. I didn't find anyone with a class upcoming yet, you know, because I would let you guys know that. But as soon as I find someone who's saying they scheduled a class in August or September, I'll let you know that. But
If
right
it-
now, as far as I know, nobody has it on the books.
If it's the fire department, there are neighbors.
Yes.
Our neighbor next door is the Fullerton Fire Department headquarters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the headquarters? I didn't realize it was the headquarters.
Yeah, it's the headquarters. Fire
Oh,
department.
well, we should mosey on over and say hello.
Yes, you should. Yeah. And they're good friends too, because we let them park in our parking lot
Uh-huh.
when they have things and that. They have fire trainings and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, that sounds great. Yes, we definitely should touch base with them and ask them, and maybe they will come over and do a class for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be excellent.
Millie knows them well too.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Do we have our PDF to share? I even included a couple of word searches because I was trying to think of a way where we could go, you know, have our young folks be involved with what's happening with disaster preparedness. Yeah. So we're going to include that in the chat, right, Zoya?
Right. So I'll be doing that right now. Additionally, I know Sister Haqiqah mentioned, if you would like, we can send out this information to you guys in an email. So if you would like it, feel free to put your email in the chat as well. And then we will forward all the information to you later on as well.
So another thing I wanted to go over with you all is having an emergency contact list. I have a local contact, but when a big disaster occurs, usually you can't call locally. You might be able to squeeze in calling out of area. And so it's tremendously important not just to have an out of area contact, but to have everyone you know and love have that contact number as well. I mean, what good does it do if I call someone, you know, out of state, but my daughters and my sons and whatnot, they don't have my cousin Penny's phone number, right? She's in Pennsylvania. She has everyone's phone number, so she would be able to dial from where she is into where we are, maybe, right? We don't know. So I included as well email addresses. Maybe we could get an email out just saying we're okay and where we are. And that also leads into having a place to meet. We need a place to meet that's like across the street or down the street. And we need a place to meet out of area so that everyone knows where to go. I do have a dear friend whose daughter went back into a house fire to get one of her siblings, and she didn't make it out. And the sibling was already out of the house.
Oh my.
So, and her name was Zakia. So, you know, it's so important not just to talk about these things, but to actually put them in action and to tell your family where to go. My daughter is coming to, I'm going to pick her up from the airport Thursday, and I've already reminded her where the meeting place is and to tell her daughter where the meeting place is, because we need to know that. We don't know when something might happen. So we're going to meet at the mailbox. And you know what? There's a mailbox to the left across the street, mailbox to the right across the street. So I need to go beyond saying meet at the mailbox. I need to say which one, right? Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody have a meeting place that they have designated with their family?
No, never thought of that. It's only when you go out in a place where they're, like, where it's a big gathering or something, then otherwise, or when we are at Hajj, there we always have a meeting point somewhere,
Mhm.
Anybody who gets lost, please come and stand here or report at this point and we'll be able to get in touch with you. That
Yes.
is what we used to do during Hajj.
Zainab said the local park is where they're meeting.
We used to have a meeting place when our kids we all lived in the same house, but now everybody is in different places and we haven't come decided on something like that.
Uh-huh. It's so important that they know where you might be, right? Because you should be at the meeting place. But I would imagine other people in my housing tract have decided on that mailbox as well. So there might be a crowd over there, right?
We have meeting places for lunch.
So Zoya is showing you some of the links that I gathered for you. There's an app that you can use that's free to download, and it will give you alerts if there is a larger occurrence, a larger disaster. Has anybody received an alert on their phone before?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We get that from not the app, but I mean, I don't know where we get it from, but it's not the app.
Yeah. Well, you can use additionally an app. Actually, you can also go to different websites, and the websites will tell you, what's going on, what hazards are in the area, what big occurrences. Like if we have an 18-wheeler overturn and it had hazardous chemicals in it, you'll get an alert for that. And also commonly, which it shouldn't be commonly, but we do get alerts when a child is missing, right?
Yeah.
The app that you're talking, what app is that? Do you have the name for it?
HAL Alerts has an app, and the Office of Emergency Services. You're going to receive that with the email of the links that I gathered for you. Can you scroll down? Yeah, so you see some of these links that I got for you. And then there's actually like about 3 pages. All you do is click on it and you'd be able to either go to a specific website. Some of us have pets at home, right? I have 3 putty cats. And
I
so
have 5. I have 5.
you have 5?
Not me, but my granddaughter.
Well, they need a disaster plan too, okay? We need to have pet carriers. We need to have food for them, a bowl for water. We need to have all of that for them because they're a part of our family too. They're our loved ones.
We don't think about that, only when the disaster will come, then we will wake up.
Yes. Each of those blue headings are actually links that will take you to a page that has even more information about them.
So again,
Okay.
make sure to add your emails to the chat so that I will be able to send it to you.
Yes.
I'm sorry I missed some couple of minutes, so it's really.
I don't
Oh,
have
that's okay. Please, please add your email to the chat.
Okay. I don't know how
So
to
that
do
we
it.
can.
Where do we type the email?
Yeah, she has.
In the chat.
Who has my email? She can send it to you, right? Okay.
So, so if you go onto your main screen at the bottom of your screen, there will be a chat button.
Right.
That chat button.
Okay, I'll send it to you. No problem. I think that will be easier.
Or you can just, text me separately on
Yes,
WhatsApp.
I don't see a chat button on my.
So it should be
Yeah,
at the
I got a chat button. So just type in your email.
yes, just type in your email and then press enter and it'll go into the chat.
Okay, let's see.
And then anybody's that you don't have, I might have their email, or maybe we can put it
Or chat. Okay, chat.
on the in the WhatsApp.
You can absolutely add the PDFs onto the WhatsApp too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should go through anyway.
Any questions from anyone?
Okay, it went through all right for me.
I saw it. Thank you, Ganika.
Right. Now, how about who won the prize? Tell me.
I did. Before you go
Well,
to
I
I
think
didn't win it.
someone said that you were all winners, and so I will provide blankets for everyone, the fire blanket for when there is a fire either on your stove or maybe your barbecue
Right.
or something like that. So I'll have one of sometime soon, I won't say exactly when, I'm gonna
That's fine.
have a variety of things
Right.
at one of the Wednesday sessions.
Good, good.
And when you go up to get your snack, your lunch,
Right.
there'll be a few things on the table that you can choose from. How about that?
That should work pretty good.
Yeah.
That will make people become Wednesday session also. Right.
I have a question,
Mhm.
Sister Haqiqah.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking about because we have some friends that are disabled, but they're like in buildings that are more than 1 story tall, and their elevators go out.
Uh-huh.
Is there some place we can contact? What could we do to help them?
That's a good question. Actually, one of the sisters I know, her elevator was out for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And she was on the 6th floor, so she wasn't able to get out. She just continuously called the office of her building. And of
Okay.
course, she was continuously told they're working on it. But it made it very difficult for her to get around to even go to doctor's appointments or what have you. Unless we're able to go by and, carefully walk them down, but not everybody has that stamina to do that. Yeah. Anybody else have recommendations? Rubina?
I have a question
Uh-huh.
and a suggestion. This is really wonderful information, but it's a lot. So I know you, and can we come up with a template and create that Word document where we can share it with Olivers? All they have to do is either online enter their information or print it and enter the information. Your name, your phone number, 3 contact, all the things that we've talked about. How can we simplify it?
Well, actually,
sorry, you already have
no,
it.
go ahead.
I mean, almost like a template that we almost have a life directive or something. We just ask you a few questions and you just complete it and you keep it, or you can print a second copy and give to somebody.
Uh-huh.
So that's a request and a suggestion.
Well, as a part of the PDF that you all will be receiving,
Okay.
it is inclusive of the emergency card specifically and other things that we've talked about here today.
Good.
Can you scroll through it so we can see the PDF we're going to get?
Yes, Zoya can show it to us again, please. Thank you, Miss Missy.
My pleasure.
Okay.
All the links.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So if you pause a second, you'll see like the 4th one down is the emergency card. There's
right.
2 links for the disaster supply kit.
Right. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. So what to do in an earthquake or extreme heat or house fire, it has links to all of those. And also with the extreme heat, which we normally get this time of year, and Allah has been very merciful, it's been cooler, but there are cooling stations throughout many of the cities where people can go to get cool.
Right.
Like if your air conditioner is
Yeah,
not working or you don't have one.
Yeah, there is a very popular
I didn't know about that.
Oh, okay, I see.
Cooling station.
And the bottom one on this first page is take care of yourself before, during, and after a disaster. That's what to do for each of us if we're feeling anxious or we're not getting sleep, or how to deal with the stress of a disaster, and in general how we can deal with stress and what we should do. So I kind of wrote that one out for us.
Good.
You did an excellent job. My God, too much.
You sure did.
Very good. Excellent.
Excellent.
Excellent job.
The classes that I normally teach for disaster preparedness are normally 4-hour to 8-hour classes. So this is condensed, which is fine, because we all need a little taste to know we need to do a little bit more, right?
Sure.
Definitely.
Where do you hold your classes?
I used to teach classes for the American Red Cross, but I'm since retired now.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But this, the nice thing, if you don't mind me saying about this list, these are not just Red Cross links. These are links from FEMA, from the city of Fullerton, from the American Red Cross. It's a cross section from the state of California. There's information out there for us. All we have to do is look for us, and Google can be our friend, because sometimes we don't know exactly the words to use, and you Google it, and next thing you know, it gives you suggestions. So the information is here. I'm available if anybody has any questions. I could talk a little bit about disaster response. When I was with the American Red Cross, I responded to floods in San Antonio before, and one of the times when I responded, I was at disaster headquarters, and I worked with the computers. I was part of a team that kept track of everybody, where they were for this disaster, so that if something happened back home, they would know how to reach out to them. If something happened to them on the disaster assignment, we knew how to get to their family back home and let them know that. We generated a report each and every day as to how many people were on the disaster. So I said, hey, I'll take the report and give it to the head of the disaster. That was my job. I loved going around because I was in headquarters. It was an old abandoned Montgomery Ward building that we took chairs and tables and we set up. And so when I went around to the different areas, one of them might have been disaster assessment. Another one might have been mental health. Another one might have been family services. And I would just say, hello, good morning, how are you? And they'd be so surprised to see a Muslim woman there, and they would get excited about it. And then they would ask me questions. So, we can do the same work as other people, and we can have an effect on people, and we can let them know that we care just as much as they care about what's going on in the community. So floods, I responded to an earthquake. I responded to I didn't go to a tornado yet, but fire. in state and out of state. I responded to 9/11. I didn't travel to New York and DC and those areas. I responded locally, where people had loved ones who lived in those areas and were very worried about if they were okay, because they couldn't get them on the phone, right? So Red Cross sent people to their homes to do a health check to see that they were okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, one opportunity, I used to belong as a member to Society of American Military Engineers, because my company was doing, federal government consulting work.
Uh-huh.
I had the opportunity to see the Corps of Engineers Emergency Operations Center.
Ah, yes.
It is amazing. The
Yes.
computer networks and the backup and all that's in place.
Yes.
Of emergency preparedness, and
Mhm.
it was just, I just wanted to share that there's a lot of infrastructure behind emergency preparedness.
Yes.
All the state, city, national, Corps of
Yes.
Engineers level.
Yes. Yes.
And
My
they
husband was very.
do a backup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My husband was very impressed when I responded to wildfires on Vandenberg Air Force Base.
Oh wow!
And he had no idea of the level. They brought these two big 18-wheeler trucks as kitchens to feed all the guys who were out working the fires. And they would be so totally drained when they would come in. They would just like lay on the ground, and next thing you know, they were asleep, because it's very hard work.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, the most important thing is for us to stay aware and stay connected and learn as much as we can about first aid and CPR, so that when something occurs, we're at the ready. Have you ever been to a restaurant and somebody started choking? That's a really, it makes your heart just drop, especially if you don't know what to do. And so we need to be in a position where we do know what to do when something occurs, that, as something as simple as sharing a blanket, something as simple as sharing a smile when somebody's down, right? It can really make a difference in someone's lives, and we want to make that difference.
Yeah, since you mentioned about choking, I heard there's some kind of equipment, some kind of thing is available on the market where you can keep with you and help somebody if somebody's choking. Have you heard that? Some kind of
I haven't personally heard of that, but yeah, sure, we can look that up, right?
Yeah, it is on Google. If you say it's a vacuum, it's like a vacuum device. Choke vacuum.
So okay.
Sucks out the from the throat.
Wow.
So it's carry with you and you just put in somebody's mouth and it sucks out the stuff.
Yes.
All that we know is to pat on the back when somebody is choking. I don't know whether you do that or not. You just thump the back to clear the throat or anything that has got stuck.
They've said also raise your hands.
Yeah.
Raise your arms up like this. It helps. Someone's used a chair before, the back of the chair, because they didn't have enough strength to push where they're supposed to push at. So, yeah.
So
we
Oliver's,
or get someone to help them.
Right. Yeah.
I'm wondering, would you all be interested in a CPR class?
I've taken 2 classes of CPR, but I forgot later on.
Well, it's one of those things that gets renewed every few years because we do forget, and the guidelines keep changing on us all the time.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know. And another thing, Sister Haqiqah, that comes to my mind, thank you so much for all the research that you've done. So I recommend all of you, when you get the PDF, please go over the links, if possible, print pages that seem very relevant and important to you, because when disaster happens, there may not be internet and electricity sometimes, and you might not have it handy. So that way you have it printed and put away as part of your emergency kit. And Sister Haqiqah, maybe in the future, what we could do is order that disaster guide and have you go over it with the Olivers, like a workshop, like, where they're filling, because sometimes, I do agree with what Rubina Auntie is saying, that, sometimes we might hear it, and then when the class is done, may not think about it. Sometimes that does happen. So this would force us to put it down, whose numbers. I know I had those moments where, I'll be very honest, I don't remember everyone's phone numbers, even my own children's, by heart. Sometimes does happen because, there's only so many phone numbers I can remember. And if your phone dies for whatever reason, because it wasn't charged enough, it can be really, very, it can cause a lot of chaos. So important that we are prepared and think and talk about these things. I think that is also something this class is really helping us all understand and see the importance of this, why it's important that we think about these things, because when they happen, even the awareness and the calmness that comes with knowing some of these things is huge. Than feeling in that panic mode, because we will panic, right, when things happen. Do you remember, everyone remembers March, what was it, 15th, 13th, when we were in shelter in place orders and we were scrambling for food and going to the grocery stores? That was a crazy time.
It was a crazy time. I took the time to put all of my phone numbers in where I have people's email addresses. One time I happened to leave my phone here at the house, and I went with my husband. I drove him in to work, and I had no one's phone number, but I was able to log into my email, and I had everyone's phone numbers there. Also, when something happens, you won't remember anything. So that's why on your emergency contact card, it's really great to have your address there, because you won't be able to think when something occurs.
That's true.
A few emergency numbers I do have in my wallet that I carry with me. That is important, immediate, but you don't have so many, but the ones who have to be contacted immediately. But whenever you leave the house, I don't know, I have a habit, and my daughter also does that. Okay, I'm going to the grocery store. I'm going to pick up the boys. So you have an idea how long she will be away. If she takes more time, then I start getting a little, concerned that why is she taking so long?
My next
people like us also, like seniors, we must, before we leave, we have to inform others that where you are. You need not go for a long drive, but even for a small job, the other people in the house, or your dear ones should know where you are.
My neighbor has all my emergency numbers too.
So it is 12 o'clock, so let's wrap it up. I'll give the floor to Haqiqah. Any last,
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very informative.
Thank you so much.
See you in person.
Okay, sometime
know
soon.
what?
And so
there is
you have my email for emailing the thing. Thank you.
Haqiqah, whenever there is an emergency, I'm going to open that book and see what have I to do in this. That is going to be my state. I'll forget everything.
Take care, everybody.
See what are we to do now?
Sister Haqiqah, and then again, I'll be sending all the amazing information that Sister Haqiqah put together, and we'll email it to you guys. All right.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you. Thank you, Zara.
Olive Community Services is a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Southern California that provides culturally appropriate services to seniors, their family, and the community. Through its physical and virtual interactive programs, Olive engages participants in a variety of ways that promotes health and well-being. To learn more about Olive Community Services, to get involved, or to make a donation, please visit www.olivecs.org or email info@olivecs.org. Be a change maker, and together, let's live, learn, and thrive.